Hello. Are you here? Yes, I can see. Good morning, or at least it's morning here. Welcome to this talk this morning. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm Michaela. It's really nice to be here with you today. And in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about our relationship with emotional eating. And really today we're looking at emotions. Hello. I hope I got that right. And you're hearing well. I'm so glad. Thank you and welcome. So good to be here in company with you today. Mia, beautiful. It's a beautiful name. Thank you for, my name, how it looks like Michaela. I've gotten that. I've gotten all kinds of different pronunciations over the years, so often I do show the phonetic spelling as well. So I like to get people's names right. So say hello. I'd love to hear where you're from. I'm coming to you from Alberta, Canada, in we could be a city, but we're still considered a town in Okotoks. The proper way to say it is Okotoks, but nobody calls it that. They call it Okotoks, so I'm going with that. This is my first time live on Insight Timer, and we will do a little bit of breathing in a bit so we can all really arrive. I'm going to have just a drink of water. Hi Vivian, Northern Ontario. So nice to see and be here with you. Nice to meet you. I have some lemon water. Yeah, so welcome. It's a little bit smoky outside here in Alberta, or at least in our neck of the woods, but I'm sure it'll clear off in just a wind. Pardon me. We live close to the mountains, so the wind comes in, brings stuff in, and it takes it out again. If you can, let me know where you're coming in from today. I'm originally from, I grew up in a farm in southeast Saskatchewan. We live between, hi Lindsay from Toronto, nice to see you. Setra from Charlestown, lovely. Maria, what is RI? Charlestown RI. Can you let me know what RI stands for? I'm thinking that's somewhere else in the world. Howde Island. Sorry. Rhode Island. Got it. Great. Thank you so much, Setra. Thank you. Nice to be here with you. Yeah, nice to meet you. So this is a topic that I have some experience in, because I have had a lot of emotional eating instances throughout my life, and then things started to shift for me. The foundation of the work that I do is with the 3 principles. First live, yes. Thank you for that woohoo. I so appreciate that. I'm calming down. And this is so great because I would love to also know who here has been ever introduced to the 3 principles. Thank you for the love. So appreciate that. I discovered the 3 principles about 3 years ago. And what it is, it's something that is happening. like it's happening right now. It's just how we work. It's how life works. It's how the mind works. So it's a really simple spiritual and psychological understanding of first of all, who we are, like what we're made of, that we are all infinite creative intelligence. It is living and breathing us. It is animating our body. It is the great equalizer, because it's true for all humans walking this earth. That we experience the feeling of our thinking is something that will come up again and again, because it forms how we experience life. Yes, Claire is a dear friend of mine. So lovely. I'm so glad. Yeah, that's awesome. And yes, she is here on Insight Timer. Lovely. So glad. Great. Yes, she is. She is truly wonderful. She is the queen of calm. It's true. It's true. So with this understanding, for me, what it's done in my life is, thank you for the loves, is brought a sense of calm, compassion for myself, for others close to me and in other places in the world. It's provided an understanding, and truly, it's like playing a card game. You know, when you're just introduced to a new card game and you're like in the beginning, you're trying to figure it out, and it's not always so much fun for, if it's the first few hands, and then you start to get a feel for it. And you start to get, like, you can navigate it way better when you know the rules of the game. And the rules of the game is we are infinite. We have infinite potential. And truthfully, I say that, and it just like, I can't conceive of it. My brain, I just can't conceive of infinite. A word that kind of works for me is vastness, because it makes it a bit smaller. Because even vastness is like, any game, when you know the rules, when you know how it works. And here, there kind of is no rules. It's just understanding the opportunities that are available to us. And that will, it just guides us. It just guides us. And we're guided 24/7 by that infinite intelligence that lives and breathes us. And we've all, we're experiencing it right now. When I first joined the call, I was nervous. So what does that tell me? It tells me that I'm having some nervous kind of thoughts. I'm never going live. Am I really live? Can they hear me? I'm using AirPods. Oh, I'm going to make sure like that. I wanted to do a screen record, and try and make it available if you ever want to listen back to it, because you can't listen back to lives on Insight Timer. But I can find a place to put it, maybe my YouTube, I can find something somewhere that if you wanted access to it. But rather than that, let's forget about that, because what's really more important is just really being present to this moment. So when I first came on, I could feel I was nervous, my throat was a little bit tight, and if you were on early enough, you saw, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna take another sip of water. My mouth is starting to The dryness is starting to leave, but I'm just going to help it along. And what you just witnessed in that moment was me taking my thoughts off of dry mouth, off of anything that I need to do here or do right. And I'm just trusting in the process. But what I did was momentarily my thoughts diverted from what was going on there to having a sip of water. And even that gives you a break. So I'd love to dive in. I already mentioned, if you've just joined, that this is my first time doing a live event on Insight Timer. I do have a few notes. I know eventually I won't need to do that, but I just wanted to make sure I kind of kept in. If you still want to let me know where you're from, I'd love to know where you are in the world. I'm in Okotoks, Alberta, Canada. I'm originally from the next province over, east. Hello, Rashmi. Hi, so good to see you here too. Thank you. Yeah. I grew up in a farm in southeast Saskatchewan. That's where I'm from originally. So if you enjoy this talk today, we'll get there real soon. And then I would love for you to follow me, and you'll get notified of when I go live or put up new tracks or new courses. I'd also love to hear at any time if you have any questions during what I'm going to share with you today. That would be lovely. And if there's anything else that comes up that you would like to have spoken to, whether it's today or sometime in the future. So you can check my link in the bio and you can get some more info there. So the 3 principles, when I came across it, it was like so many things that I thought were problems seemed to fall away. It was a little bizarre, really, because I wasn't really sure what happened. I didn't really understand what was happening in my brain. I mean, and now I can speak to that more. So we'll speak to that a little bit today. So today we're going to talk about unraveling, emotional eating, and really what I'd love to focus on is the emotions, because we talk about emotional eating, but really when we have a healthier relationship with sorry, just a moment, we're obliged to have you. Okay, they said, oh, good. Yes, so glad. Thank you so much. Can I scroll up? Sorry, I'm just checking this out. Mia, yes, great. I just wanted to see if I could scroll because they're going by and I'm missing some of them. So thank you so much. Hi, Lily. Where are you from? I'd love to hear. Yeah. When we talk about this whole thing about emotional eating, and often in the past when I've heard people talk about it, when we talk about the food so much, and at one point I will, but what I love to look at the nature of things. So I'm going to adjust my notes. Oh, and just if it feels right to you at any time now or later, I invite you to support my work. I not only would love to share the 3 principles because it is something that is true for all of us. This is how it works. This is how we experience our life. So I'm on a mission to have people, spread the word, to let people know what they have available to them, so they too can have an easier relationship, not just with their body and food and movement, but in their relationships. Because yes, I've seen something, it was 2 years ago, where I had a insight around my body image, the image of my body. And my relationship with my body has been changing ever since. So there was like sort of something big that I saw, and almost what I didn't see. I got to know what I was making up in my mind. And then over the last couple of years, I've been exploring and dipping in and looking to see more. But not just in relationship with my body, my personal relationships, my work relationships, my relationships with my home, my dog, my cat, my government, my town. The only relationship you are in is with your own thinking, with your own thoughts. Even with yourself. You have thinking about yourself. And that forms your relationship with yourself. And that can all change. All of those thoughts, I kind of look at it like this. Like it's like, here's a thought and there's another thought. And it's like, it's really hard to see the true picture. Oh, thank you so much, Satra. I so appreciate that. Thank you so much. We get caught and we sort of see it like this. And it gets us stuck. Kind of like when you have like a scar and you get a cut. And the amazing system that we have that is developed, created by the Creator, has this way of healing, and it cross hatches. But what it can do is it can then make it stiff because everything's not flowing. Well, that's what your thoughts can do. It can make the image of yourself and food and your body and emotions sort of stiff. And what we want to do is we want to get them working, get them moving, and get them to be in a more to have a resilient relationship with them. So yes, so I would appreciate any donations that you may feel in your heart, only if it feels good and right to you. And this will help me to continue my mission of helping people to see things more, to see through the story that we innocently make up about ourselves, about our lives, about our experience, about our bodies, about what we're capable of, about what's available to us, no matter where we came from, no matter the color of our skin, no matter the amount in our wallet, no matter whether we have children or not, no matter whether we have a small family or ample. We are all abundant. We are all equal. Yeah. Okay, so let's dive in, shall we? Yeah. Oh, okay. So brief, I told you that I'd really like to focus on the emotions, because food is an outside thing. We live, how we experience the world is really from inside out, from our own thinking and feeling. But it looks like we're experiencing everything out there. It looks like, well, let's just continue. You'll see that it looks like something is happening because of something out here, but really it's all happening from within us. So if we look at the nature of eating and we look at, well, what is the nature of eating? Like, why do we eat? What do we... And the nature of it, the purpose of it is to nourish our body, to satisfy hunger, to satisfy our taste buds. We were given this amazing unit with these cool things on our tongue that have us be able to taste bitterness and sour and sweet and salty. And I had looked online about, am I missing a sense? And there was a couple more that came up. Well, one that I wasn't familiar with, umami. And it was around, it's like a deep, rich flavor. I don't think that's a taste bud thing. But another one was savory. And so we've been given, like, it's in the system. It's in the system that the universe, God, creator, source, whatever word you use to describe what is living and breathing us, what has created us. It's given us these things to use, to satisfy. So that is one of the things that eating can do. It can satisfy those taste bud senses. And also we can distinguish with our physical senses, we can distinguish crunchy and smooth and chewy and hard and soft. And so all of these things creates an experience in our mouth and in our body. So eating is wonderful. Eating can also bring people together. We use it as a place of communing, of coming together and breaking bread, sharing a meal, sharing a refreshment. So eating is a wonderful and necessary part of our life. It satisfies many things. And how I like to look at it is that the body is a vehicle for self-expression. It's a vehicle, and when I say self, I'm talking about the self that we really are. Creative energy. And it expresses uniquely in me through my very particular body, and your essence expresses uniquely through you and your unique body. It can only be expressed within you. I think that's kind of magical in its simplicity, really. So I just want to, for a moment, talk about preferences. Our spirit, who we are, we're not stagnant. It is solid. It's dependable. It is, it is who we are. But moment to moment, it has preferences. So that's why we have all these different taste buds and different textures that we can discern with the power of awareness. The three principles are the divine mind, divine consciousness or awareness, and divine thought. So we have this ability to be aware that allows us to experience, and we have preferences. I just want to bring that up. It just felt important. So let's talk about the nature of emotions. So here we go. Emotions or feelings, I'm gonna speak to it in feelings, because we feel our emotions in our body. Now, how does this work? Well, we feel our thinking. Our thoughts and our feelings rise up together as one. It's like two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. And thought, even though it may not look like this, even though at times it happens so quickly that you're like, nope, I did not think anything. This was just a reaction. But I'm telling you, your thoughts rise up and there's a feeling attached to it. There's a feeling that rises up with it. So what we're experiencing is the feeling of our own thinking. This is what I mean when I say that we experience life from the inside out. It's the only way. Now, here's the thing. We have thousands of thoughts crossing our mind every day. It's like a ticker tape. And a lot of those thoughts where we don't, like they come and they go without any attachment. But there are some that we like grab onto and we make it mean something. And as soon as we grab onto one, and make it mean something, like I did at the beginning, where it's just like, the tech, is everything going to work okay? And, you know, how do I navigate? And it's that they come and they go. So as soon as we grab onto one, sorry, I lost my thought for a moment. As soon as we grab onto one, we feel it. We feel it in our body. I was feeling my throat was constricting a bit. My mouth kind of went dry. I could feel that my shoulders were, you know, you may have not have noticed, but inside it felt like my shoulders were up to closer to my ears. There's an experience that happens. There's a feeling that happens. That's what we experience. So I could say, well, this is what it was the tech. It was that darn tech always stresses me out. No, it's actually not the tech. It is my thinking about the tech. My stressful thoughts. Is it going to work? I'm nervous. It is that causes the feeling in the body, and only that. I'll be inviting you to test it out a little bit later. So understanding that, why do we emotionally eat? Oh, there's something else I want to sort of preface with. We are always wanting to feel better. That is sort of our natural way. Sorry, I got a thing popped up here and I have to do something with it here. Oh my goodness. Okay, there. I think we're good. So sorry. We're always wanting to feel better. That is just our nature. The energy that lives through it is always looking for ease and flow. It's always just looking to travel through and have us do things. And when our thinking doesn't get in the way, we can do that. And I'm sure you've all had moments where things have just felt easy, where it just, oh my gosh, that worked so smoothly. That was cool. And other times where we've had a lot of thinking about it and it's been like, right? So at some point in your life, if this is for you, like me, at some point in my life, it made sense to me. I noticed that when I ate, I felt better. That when I ate, I felt calmer. I just felt better. Now, because then I didn't understand that the only thing that has me feeling better is less thinking going on in my mind. The more thinking I got going on in my mind, the more revved up I am. If I have nervous thinking, I have a nervous feeling. If I have angry thoughts, angry thinking, I will feel angry. If I have happy thoughts, I'm going to feel happy. The state of the mind can have us feeling in those ways that even if it's happy, like I'll talk about labels at another time, but labels can be helpful. I'm a highly sensitive person. And I also am a little neurodivergent, I guess they call it. So I have a very busy brain. So I can, even if I'm really happy and things are, going on and things are going well, I can still I need to step back. I need to get away. And what I used to do was eat a lot or alcohol. That's for another talk. But the misunderstanding, the innocent misunderstanding that's kind of missed is that when I eat, I feel better. But what's actually happening is a distraction from the thinking that was going on a moment ago that had me feeling stressed. So whenever you have an elevated emotional state, meaning elevated thinking, a lot of thinking going on, and then you eat something, or you breathe, or you go for a walk, or you have a sip of your water, it creates a crack in the thinking, and there's a space for calm and peace. So really, when we are going to food, we believe that it's the food, so we keep going to it. It can become a habit, and habit is just thought. Habit is just, thank you, I'm glad that connected. The first principle, Deb, is actually, they're not really in any order, but divine mind, divine consciousness, and divine thought. But they all work together instantaneously. One. There's never not one of them working. And that might be something for another talk too. I do have a track actually that I did a talk about the clarity and calm with the 3 principles, but I can do better. It's okay. But I think I can do a better job of using stories and some examples, metaphors, and things that will demonstrate it a little better. But those are them. So all that's happening when you're eating, when you're going to food, sort of automatically, because this habitual thinking, is that you don't have as much on your mind, and you're attributing it to the food. So you keep looking for food, keep going to food. So and then we can get into a habit of whenever we'll add other things into it. Let's add TV onto it, or screen time on the phone. Let's eat and do that. That's even better. I'm even more, calm. But it's not the TV. The TV is not your savior from your thinking, from your feeling. It's just that you're not thinking the thoughts that you were thinking before. That's really how simple it is. It's so simple, it's so easy to miss. The understanding, and that's where it starts. Right, okay, so I'll give you an example. Ice cream. This is, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago or so, where I got into a period of eating ice cream. And there was a lot going on in my life at that time. And when everyone else would go to bed, I would have this big, huge bowl of ice cream. And for about 3 months, I'd wake up with a sore throat. It would kind of diminish throughout the day. By mid-afternoon, it was like my sore throat was gone. It was, it was always, I was hiding it. There's a lot of things that can come up with emotional eating, right? It affects our lives in ways that we don't even know. Hiding, being secretive, being, because we may have a sense of, oh, I don't need this, but I want it. I'll talk about that in a moment, the needing. But all that happened in this time, and even though I got to know, probably, I don't even know, maybe after a month or so, I don't know the time frame, but where I got, it's like, okay, this isn't helping me, and I'm getting a sore throat. The cold probably before bed, and the sugar, it was giving me a sore throat. And it would ease, so I would kind of forget, and I'd go back to it. Hiding, soothing myself, treating myself. We can use these things in so many ways. We think that we're soothing. We think that we're helping ourselves, that we're treating ourselves because I deserve it. Things were stressful then. And all that was happening was I was distracting myself from my own thinking. That's all. That's what was helping me to feel better. It wasn't the ice cream. It was just a misunderstanding. It took quite a long time, though, for that to make different sense to me. And this is a key point, that you are always doing what makes sense to you in the moment. Always. You know, have you ever had one of those times when you look back at a time in your life and you just think, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I have a lot of those, and I'm okay with it. I understand now. I was thinking whatever I was thinking, and in that moment, it made sense. What I was doing made sense. And it doesn't make sense anymore. That's what I'm hoping you will see for yourself today. Because as long as something makes sense to you to do, you will continue to do it. Even if what I call a double bind, where it's like, I don't want it, like the ice cream. I don't want to do it, but I do. I don't want to do it because I'm gaining weight and I'm not feeling good. I'm waking up feeling a little icky. My throat is sore. But I still kind of want to do it. It's like this bind we have. But as soon as you're aware of it and you allow yourself to notice whenever you go in that direction of doing what it is that you don't want to do. In this case, we're talking about eating when we're not really hungry. Eating to soothe, or to calm, or to avoid, or to hide, or to escape. As soon as we notice that, we're breaking the pattern. We're breaking that habitual thinking that has us jumping to food for saving from our own thinking. This is working. Whether you know it or not, this is already working in your life. That's how you can look back and it's like, wow, what was I thinking? Well, see, something happened. Sugar is the most addictive substance. Yeah, well, I'm not a doctor. I'm not, I have an energy healing and channeling background. And it is just a substance. Here's what I would love to invite. And I really want to get your name right. Suleiman. Let me know if I got that right. I like it. What we think about something can embellish, can blow up. So if we believe that sugar is addictive, oh, that sugar, it's so addictive. So what we're doing is we're experiencing that. We actually create our experiences with what we're thinking and focusing on. Next week I'm doing a talk on attention, the power of attention. Because what we give our attention to is what we get more and more of. So if we believe, now I'm not talking about, the positive affirmations. I'm not talking about that. I have experience with positive affirmations. I did it in my experience, it was temporary. It was like a coping mechanism for a time. So it got me through something. So I'm not talking about saying something that like trying to flip to the opposite to make it like sugar is not addictive to me. Sugar, I can take sugar or leave sugar. That is not what I'm saying here. It's what we believe can have an impact on what we experience. It's the power of thought. We create we create. Thank you so much, Suleiman, for bringing this up. We create with our thinking. So rather than that, our thoughts and emotions are, oh, you bet they are. They're everything. I just got goosebumps. Thank you. Not thank you for the goosebump. Thank you, well, sure, for bringing this up, because it is powerful. It's our thoughts that are powerful, really. And the emotions, we feel them. As powerful as our thoughts are, our emotions are too. And the feeling in our body goes with it. Down the road, I'll talk about pain. I have someone who I'm working with now. I mean, I was even like blown away by what a difference her experience of life was, where she was in pain, like pushing herself up from her table and stuff and going along the walls to move around. And I asked what she would like instead. Now I'm getting into attention, but that's okay. I'll go there and then I'll go back to the emotions. I asked her what she would like instead. And she very clearly stated what she wanted to experience getting up, how she wanted to feel strong. And at first it was pain-free. It's like, what's another word? Like, to get rid of the word pain, it's just, what do you want? And it's just like, just to do it, just to get up and do it. No thought about it, just ease. And she did it. She did it. And after months, she said, every now and again, when I'm going to get up, I'm starting to do that. Oh, and then she's like, nope, I'm energetic and I'm strong. And yes, our thoughts are powerful and they affect our body. They do. We feel it in our body. So I just want to see what else I wanted to say about I just wanted to share another story. Do we have time? I think we have some time. I wanted to share another story. Thank you so much for the love. So love that. I appreciate that. I wanted to share another story about coffee. This is a recent story. So I don't like coffee. I do not like the taste of coffee, like black coffee. It's kind of, I'm sorry, no offense to you coffee lovers out there, but I think it's disgusting. For my taste buds, they just they just don't do it. But guess how I can drink it? Heavily creamed and sweetened. Heavily creamed and sweetened. So I was drinking a lot of coffee. So crazy. When I say this, it's one of those things, it's just like, what was I thinking? I know what I was thinking. So I've been about 3 weeks where I just stopped. It just stopped because I did ponder it. I just like, what is going on here? And I had some help. I had a coach. And it's just like, I really want to explore this because it was like that double bind where I don't want to do it. I started to feel sick. It got so bad that I was starting to feel a little sick. And it's just like, to me, that is wisdom. That is infinite intelligence. That is God saying, Michaela, how about if I give you some pain in your body? Then will you stop drinking something that you don't really want? Because here's the thing, you'll never get enough of what you don't really need. I'm going to repeat that. You can never get enough of what you don't really need. So what I discovered, I love cream, any kind of cream, and I used all kinds of cream to make it better, to make it healthier for me, to get, I'll try an almond and coconut milk and oat milk and almond milk, all different kinds of things. And it's like, no, what if I just went and had the cream and the sweet somewhere else? But the belief I had was that coffee revved me up enough to have me do things that I didn't really want to do. And often there were things that I felt like I needed to do in business. That's another story. So I determined that I was having this because I thought it was going to get me to do these things that I didn't want to do. It's crazy. It's craziness. Same happened with alcohol and soda for you, Suleiman. Yeah, wow, right? Me too, well, with alcohol, although it wasn't that it was kind of, I wanted to share that coffee story because it was, rather than having it, calm me down, I purposefully was taking it to rev me up, to like, get that thing done that I don't want to do. It's crazy. And alcohol, yes, I had a negative relationship with alcohol for quite a number of years. And then something shifted there too. That was sort of a bizarre insight, that it was one of those insights. I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, like Sydney Banks, who came up with who had a very potent insight, and he saw the world differently. Everything, all the story and thought fell away. And he, over a period of time, came up with a way to speak about it, to help people see too. Well, I had something happen. It was around alcohol, but I won't share it today because it was, anyways, I'll just say that it happened. It was over a little bit of a crazy event, but it happened. I saw something. It actually had nothing to do with alcohol, and that I never drank again. And it's not that I'm not, like, it's just that it's not on my mind. It's like I don't even think about it. And that's what it's like for coffee the last few weeks. My husband makes coffee for himself every morning, and if there is a little bit left in that, we use a French press and I dump it out. It's like, I'll have my chug of tea, thanks very much. Yeah, I don't need to be revved up. It is, yeah. Did you have something more that you would like to say about that, Suleiman? Is the alcohol in the sodas, it's something, I drink iced coffee with 0 sugar creamer. Cool. Chaga. Yeah. Nice. I want to stay on track because I want to talk about, briefly, well, what do you do then? Like, what do you do? I kind of wanted to know, like, is there a time that you typically emotionally eat? Is there a time that, and you wouldn't call it that. Like, I never called it emotionally eating. It's like, I'm going to go emotionally eat. It wasn't like that. It was just like, I just found myself going for it. Is there times where that happens? What do you notice? Like, can you look back now and notice that, oh, what was going on? Was it habitual? Was it something that you had been doing for so long that you just continued to do it? Or was it like certain, like I had created these, I'd done some fundraising in the past, and there was like this big event, and I'd come home from the meetings, and, well, usually it was wine at that time. I would soothe myself with wine. But I didn't even need the wine, because the act of doing like that just took my mind off of it. My childhood triggers me to eat poorly growing up, eating fast food, soda, ice cream, everything bad for me. So, yeah. Reshmi, I used to read when I was tired. It was the way to get more energy to keep going, right? Yeah, it's great. Here's the key. Here's the kind of, what to do. Because it's noticing when you're reaching for food when you're not hungry. Notice that. That's sort of the easiest one. And just then it creates just a little bit of a space. It requires a little bit of a slowing down. Maybe. Like, now that we've had this discussion, it's already in your consciousness. You're aware. Your awareness of, I hope I made you aware of something new, or a new perspective, or a new way of looking at it, or something to consider. But just being aware when I'm reaching for something that, when I'm not hungry. I had my moment with pizza last night. I told myself I don't need this. Yeah. Suleiman, thank you so much, because that is next. I don't need this. Here's the thing. You need something. The food cannot make you feel better. It's just a distraction. Cool. Okay. Yeah, so this is a shift. This is a shift. Now, my question to you, Suleiman, if you don't mind, would be, were you hungry? Was it actually that you wanted food because you needed to satisfy a hunger? Or did you want to satisfy, because sometimes, like when I had Twizzlers on the weekend, it's like I didn't need them, but I wanted something sweet. I wanted something to satisfy, and that was handy because we were out in a campsite. It was more of my habits of eating late before bed. That is such good awareness. That is such good awareness. And remember, a habit is just thought. I know you can Google it and it'll say it takes 30 days, 60 days, 70 days, 90 days to break a habit. I 100% disagree. A habit can change just like that, because all it is thought. And our thoughts go by the ticker tape of our mind every moment less. They happen so fast that we don't even catch them. We don't even know. Like we're just all kind of. So it can change, and just knowing. So remember this, that you can't get enough of what you don't really need. So ask yourself what you're really needing. What are you feeling? And the way to do that, before you reach for the food, just pause. And I know what I'm asking you to do is not necessarily so easy. I know it because I've done it, but I'm going to tell you what happened. Suleiman, moments of weakness and moments of awareness, something I've had to learn. Nice. And you only have a moment. All you have is this moment. So what I'd invite you to do is ask yourself, what do I really need? And likely there's an emotion there. There was an emotion that you were feeling because of a thought that you were thinking. And I'd invite you to get present to the feeling in your body. Like actually take a moment, stand there or sit down or whatever, and just like find it. Because I told you about at the beginning of the call when I was kind of nervous and all of that, and I could feel my throat restricting, and I could feel but I didn't have time to, I could have. I did. I did make a little bit of time to see what I need. I kind of needed water because my mouth was all dry. I kind of needed to just so I invite you to take a moment and actually, so you can feel the tension in your body. You can feel the feeling of your thoughts in your body. So just take a moment. You can put your hands there or just stand there and just track it. So if I would have done that, I could have just looked to my throat and just sat with it. Here's the thing. As soon as I take my attention away from my thinking onto where the feeling is being experienced in my body, what happens? The thoughts drop. Now the attention is on the feeling. So you already feel calmer. Our body is an amazing tool right there, ready to support us in feeling better. You could just breathe if you didn't want to sit with the emotion. Here's the thing. Emotions come and they go. They come and they go with your thoughts. They will never stop. As long as you are human, You will have thoughts, you will have thinking, and you will have feelings that come up, and you will experience them in the body. That's okay. That's just part of being human. And that's like really great news, isn't it? I love to see you all bobbing along the bottom. I don't know what you see on your side right now, but I love this community, this connection. I would love to hear anything else that you might want to. Does this make sense? Like, what are you hearing here? What is it like? What would it be like to sit in presence with your own feelings? With understanding that as soon as you're present to the feeling in the physical body, the feeling will lessen. It will lessen because your attention is moving away from the thinking that produced it. Whether it's a memory, whether it's something that just happened in this moment. Sydney Banks said, if the only thing that people learned was not to be afraid of their experience, that alone would change the world. Experience being the feeling of your own thinking. And what is thought made of? Energy. It's nowhere. It's like a poof. It's like a cloud. It's like a cloud. I hope this was helpful in some way. I hope that it opened up something new in your mind to consider. I have a hard time choosing to pause. I need to work on that. Yeah. Vivian, what would you like instead? Rather than put, I'm just going to help turn this around because it's so subtle. I do it too. Like with, tech is so hard for me. So overwhelming. But rather, what would I like instead? I want, tech is actually really supportive of me. So I'd invite you to look to instead what you want to experience. Would you like to have more pause? And really, pause is presence, right? And the great thing is that in every moment of every day, you get another opportunity to pause. You get another opportunity to just be present. Oh, I just realized I really like to start any kind of talks that I do anywhere with breathing. I forgot. Next time. If there's anything else, I'm happy to answer to. If there's anything you'd like to share, that's cool. I know we're at the top of the hour. I so appreciate you being here. I do truly hope it was helpful. If it was, please follow. If it feels good, only if it feels right and good, you're welcome, Setra. Thank you. Donations are welcome to help support my mission in having, just being able to spread the word about how we experience the feeling of our own thinking, about how we are the creative energy. We are it. It's living. It's breathing through us. It's animating us. Our potentials we're limitless. I'm just getting a sense of this, but I know when I look in this direction And I look for, I'll talk more next week when we talk about attention, about what do I put my attention on? Because when I start looking for things that I want to experience, I experience it more and more and more. Hi, Christine. I arrived late and love what I heard. Looking forward to hearing your perspective on pain. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Great. Yeah. Yeah. My perspective on pain, if it's okay, I will share that now. And tomorrow, if you would like, I'm just going to give you a little brief rundown. I guess you can see this in Insight Timer. But tomorrow I'm doing a talk on this is about transforming the body image and unveiling the illusion of it. I'm happy to answer to pain right now, Christine, and I think it would be really good to do a talk about that. You're welcome, Tina. You're welcome. You're welcome, Vivian, too. You're welcome, Suleiman. So if you need to leave, that's totally cool. I'm just going to answer Christine. I'm just going to, just a little bit on the perspective of pain. So here's the thing. Here's a great example. I was actually talking to a nurse who is also in this understanding of the 3 principles. And she said, because I had thought too, it's just like pain, like if someone's standing on my, if they stomp on my foot and then they tell me that it's just my thinking that's making all that up, that's making that experience, it's like, yeah. The thing is, we have a physical body, and there can be reactions. Like there's a biology to it that when I touch a hot stove, it's going to send a signal to my brain, and it's not actually pain. If you can ever think back to when you've experienced something like that, like something sharp like that, it's like, it's actually not pain. It's like, it's like surprise, right? But what the reaction does, you touch the hot thing and then it sends something to the brain, and then you pull your hand away. You go, and you pull your hand away. The pain doesn't come until after you're, I burnt my, but it's so quick. Without the ability to be aware and think, we would not have pain. Because we do, we can make our pain worse, blow it up, look, or we can also shrink it down. Have you ever, like it's happened to me where I've, I have an old broken finger, and for several months ago, I was just eating a lot of sugar and it was always swollen, and I would forget about it, and then I would bump it, and then I would remember. And it's like, it was no different, but it just brought my attention to it. And then I would think about it, and then I'd move it around, and it's like, oh, I gotta stop doing this. And it's like, oh my gosh, it. And I made it worse and worse. And then I'd carry on with my day and I'd forget about it. And then I would notice it later at night sitting, and it's like, oh yeah, that's sore. It's funny, right? I know I'm not the only one that experienced that. I've seen people limp, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, your leg is better. And it's like, oh, no, it hurt. And then they start limping again. The power, the thought is so, so, so powerful. But I'm not saying that there's not pain. What I am saying is that our attention to it can have it feel better or worse. Does that make sense? Or any help at all? I'll just hang on for another moment to see if you have anything to say, Christine, or anyone else. And I really thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. This is a really lovely community. I appreciate being here in this. I thank Insight Timer for this opportunity and making this available to learn from so many. Yeah. Christine and all of you, I'm going to do a talk around pain. Let's explore it more. Yeah. Anyways, I love you all. Love is what we are. So happy to share in this world, in this space with you. So take care, and we'll see you again soon. Ciao.